Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Pharmacypedia. This is Dr. Shikha Chauhan and I welcome you all. In this session we are going to learn about the buffers which are used in the pharmaceutical and biological systems. If you are visiting my channel for the first time, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel Pharmacypedia for getting further updates. So before beginning with the actual physiological and other roles, we should understand what is a buffer. So buffer is a solution which actually have a resistance to the pH change. So if you add any acidic or basic component into a formulation which is already having a buffer, it would resist the change in the pH. So like different buffers have different buffer actions and they are able to neutralize the small amounts of the added acids or bases. Now this is very important for certain physiological processes. Buffer solutions have a working pH range and capacities which dictates how much acid and the base they can be neutralized before pH changes. So they have different buffer capacities. When we talk about the various kinds of the buffers which are used in the pharmaceutical and biological system, they are basically divided into three types. First of all, we have a very good buffer system at the blood level. So in the blood, we have a buffer system composed of carbonic acid and bicarbonates. Apart from that, we have phosphate buffers and we have the buffers which allows us to maintain the protein's concentration. Then other body part which is having the buffer is the lacrimal fluid. Tears have also an optimum pH range. Then buffers are also able to maintain the pH range from 4.5 to 7.8 in the urine. So you can say buffering system is working at three levels. The first is at the blood as a pharmaceutical buffer, then you at urine as a pharmaceutical buffer, and third lacrimal fluid. So like fluid which is into our eyes has to also to be maintained at a particular pH range. Now talking about the buffer systems, we should understand that buffers in pharmaceutical system has a great significance. Buffering agents are widely used in the ophthalmic preparations which are consisting of buffers. Penicillins, antibiotics are also stabilized by using the buffer solutions. Enzymatic catalysis of a chemical reactions are also controlled by regulating the pH. So standard buffer solutions are being available and they can be utilized. For example, hydrochloric acid buffer, sodium hydroxide buffer, and other boric acid and potassium chloride buffers. So let us first begin with the physiological level. So in the physiological level, we have the buffer system present in the three types. First, blood as a buffer system, second ophthalmics, lacrimal fluids as a buffer system, and third is about your urine as a buffering system. So when we talk about the blood as a buffer system, so the average pH of the human blood is about 7.4. So any change which is larger than 0.1 pH unit is either in direction and that can cause illness. You will be amazed to know that body can't tolerate even pH range below 6.8 and above 8. So if on the acidic side it goes below 6.8, then also it is not good for our health, and if it exceeds 8, then also the person can go into the coma. So like the plasma contains basically carbonic acid and bicarbonate and acid alkali sodium salts of phosphoric acid as buffers. So two kinds of the buffers are there. First is the carbonic acid bicarbonate buffers and second is the phosphoric acid buffers. Apart from that, third, plasma proteins also acts as acids in the blood. They can also combine with the bases and so act as a buffers. So you can say when we talk about the blood as a buffering system, it has three units which is working on. First is the carbonic acid bicarbonate system, second is the phosphoric acid system, and third is the plasma proteins. So in the erythrocytes, two buffer systems first is the hemoglobin and oxyhemoglobin and alkali potassium salts of the phosphoric acids. So to maintain this pH, the body basically uses three buffer system: carbonate buffer in the form of carbonic acid and bicarbonates, phosphate buffers, and proteins. So let us first try to discuss and understand about the carbonic acid and bicarbonate buffer system. So when we talk about the blood pH, it is 7.4. So the changes in the pH below 6.8 and above 8 may result in death. So the major buffer system is the bicarbonic acid and carbonate system. So some of the carbon dioxide, the end product of the cellular metabolism, is carried to the lungs for the elimination, whereas the other carbon dioxide being generated dissolves in the body fluids and it forms the carbonic acid, which further dissociates to produce the bicarbonates and the hydronium ion. So my dear students, you should understand, so there are lungs which are involved in the exchange of the gases, produces carbon dioxide. Some of the carbon dioxides goes to the lungs for the elimination, while some of the carbon dioxide remains inside the body, and this turns into bicarbonate and hydronium ion. So in this buffer, hydronium and the bicarbonate anions are in equilibrium with the carbonic acid. So the carbonic acid is the first equilibrium which can decompose carbon dioxide and water, and resulting in a second equilibrium system between carbonic acid and the water. So because carbon dioxide is an important component of the blood buffer, its regulation in the body as well as that of the oxygen is very important. So the effect of these can be important when human body is subjected to strenuous conditions. So when you exercise more, or like you do a very exhaustive exercise, then in that case you must have seen there is disbalance, and this disbalance is due to the difference in the carbon dioxide and oxygen imbalance takes place, which may further lead to the imbalance in the pH as well. So in the body, there exists an equilibrium between hydronium and oxygen, which further involves the binding ability of the hemoglobins. So an increase in the hydronium sometimes causes the equilibrium to shift towards the oxygen side, thus releasing oxygen from the hemoglobin molecules into the surrounding tissues. Whereas the system continuously works with the exercise, providing continuous oxygen to the working system. So you can say the carbonic acid bicarbonate system maintains the oxygen and carbon dioxide, and the deviation or the imbalance may cause the body to suffer a lot. So there are various equations which will clearly tell you that the carbonic acid and bicarbonate system maintains and it follows, and then only the pH of the blood is able to remain to 7.4. Next, we move on to the lacrimal fluids. Lacrimal fluids are also known as tears. So they are present in our eyes. So they have been found to have a great degree of the buffer capacity, in terms that even a dilution of 1:1:15 with neutral distilled water before an alteration of pH is noticed. So you can see it is a great help in maintaining the pH of the lacrimal fluid. Now the pH of the lacrimal fluid is again same as that of the blood pH. So it is 7.4 with a range of 7 to 8 or slightly higher. So generally it is thought that eye drops within a pH range of 4 to 10 will not harm the cornea. So you must have seen most of the when we formulate the ophthalmic dosage forms, we set the pH around 7. The reason being 6 to 7, the reason being even slightly acidic formulation may harm your eyes. It can cause itching, it can cause irritation, it can be painful, and even the basic formulations may cause irritation to the patient. So it is recommended to keep the pH between 6 to 7, and this is being kept with the help of the buffering agents. Okay, so this sort of the discomfort and flow of tear will occur below pH 6.86 and pH 9. You must have observed that with certain eye drops sometimes you feel a lot of pain when the buffering agent is not able to have the action, and if any of the eye drop does not have the buffering action, it will cause you a lot of discomfort and pain. So the lacrimal fluid originally contains the pure conjunctival fluid, which is probably more acidic than the tear fluid and commonly used in the pH measurements. So this is because pH generally increases rapidly when the sample is removed out or for analysis because of the loss of the carbon dioxide from the tear fluid. Next, we move on to the third pH maintaining system in our body, which is urine. So kidneys are continuously excreting urine. So the 24 hours urine collection of the normal adult has a pH averaging about 6 units. 6 units means pH 6, generally pH 6. So sometimes it may be as low as 4.5 or as high as 7.4. 8. So the color of the urine can determine you the health of the purpose. The intention of adding this picture over here is that so that you can generalize and you can understand even the color of the urine can tell you about the health condition of a patient. You can see the lighter the color, the better is the condition, and the darker the color, the worst is the health condition. So you always have to check and take care of yourself in terms of the urine color also, so that you are able to maintain your good health. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel Pharmacypedia for getting further updates.